here with my dear friend Madaline. And I just had the privilege of seeing her conduct her group at the Cottonwood Library, the Smiles group, which was lovely and met some lovely people. And Madaline and I go back 20 years plus now, and we certainly ridden a lot of rides in the amusement park. We've come around the bend on and wiped out a couple of times, but somehow managed to get up and continue going. And so I'm delighted to be able to share my experience and her experience with you today, because Madeline's really a remarkable human being, someone I love and adore, and am grateful to call her my friend. Say hi, Madaline.
Hi, Madaline. Hi, my brother Casey.
So let's start with a little history, right? We met in '99, and I could tell my spin on it, but I want to hear your spin on it because I think it'd be more fascinating from your point of view.
My friend Kathleen, who I adore, moved to Sedona in the middle of '98, and we stayed in touch. And she said, "Come visit, come visit." And so in January of '99, I came to visit. I was going to stay for 5 days, and during that time, Kathleen was telling me about this guy that she had met at a gathering. I don't remember what the gathering is. Doesn't matter because I wasn't there. And Kathleen and Casey had created a bond at that moment, and so when I was at Kathleen's, she invited Casey and another friend. Remember, 2 guys came over, and I'm a major hugger. I mean, when you get hugged by me, you know you've been hugged. And so the first time I hugged Casey, there was an energy field that I don't get that often, more often now these days, especially since I've shared 9,000 smile cards with hugs. But at that time, it was just yummy, and it felt like Kathleen was looking to connect Casey and I, and ultimately we did connect, and
I referred to it. She was pimping you. She was pimping you.
I wonder how appreciative she would be of that.
It was great with that. With the we were doing the crystals and the pendulums, and all that woo woo. Yeah, it was all happening.
It was great stuff. It was It was great stuff. So Casey and I stayed in touch. I kept going back to California. I'm going to back up. So in the 3rd day of me being in Sedona, Kathleen and I were hiking at airport in the Red Rocks. And I was standing facing the sun. I closed my eyes, and I heard Spirit say, "This is where you're to be next because you're dying in Ojai," quote unquote. I was living in Ojai, California. And I had just bought a house 15 months prior. And so when I heard that, I said to Kathleen, well, let's find a realtor for me because this is where I'm to be next. So the next day we started looking at properties in Sedona proper, and it was absolute no. The energy was so intense for me in Sedona that I could not live there. So I left, and I'd be home for a few weeks, and my body would be jonesing for coming back to this area. Kathleen lived in the village of Oak Creek. And so I came back in February. I met Edward Breathitt, amazing sculptor. In fact, I have his piece sitting right over there. And
I love Edward. He's amazing.
yeah, so he knew that I was looking for property, and in March, when I came back again, he said, the house across the way from me is for sale. This is in a little area called Pine Valley. So Kathleen and I go up Jack's Canyon and go to Pine Valley, and we find this house that's got a for sale sign on it. Before I even pulled into the driveway, I said to Kathleen, that's my home. I knew it. And so we did. We looked around, and it was a definite. It was on an acre of land, butted up to the National Forest and the Red Rocks, and it was like, oh my God. The energy was so yummy. It was, my body is vibrating now just thinking about the memory.
Wasn't that rock behind it called the Sentinel?
I named it that.
Oh, okay.
I named it the Sentinel, yes. As it watched over the entire Pine Valley, yes. And so Casey and I stayed in touch when I would go to California and come back, and he, it's like, what do you want with the house? And I said, I want the kitchen gutted, I want the carpets up, we're gonna take down walls, we're gonna open up walls. So when the escrow closed in June, and I came up to the house, the kitchen was gutted, the carpet was up, and he was sitting by the fireplace, no fire on because it's June, but it was a great hearth to sit in front of the fire in the wintertime. It was fabulous. He's sitting there with a 6-pack of beer, waiting for me, and it's like, whoa, this is so cool, this is so cool. So it started my adventure in Arizona, which I never in a million years would have believed that I would leave California. My family is there. The little family I have left is there. My children are there, grandchildren are there. It's like, okay. My daughter said, well, there goes mom. And it's like, okay, this is what we're doing. And so fast forward to 2014, because this is so monumental in my life. I was sitting right here and reading, because I don't have a computer in here, and I hear Spirit say to me, get out your colored pencils. Okay. So I got out my colored pencils, and I had a big piece of paper sitting there, and it was cool paper, very cool paper. So I start doodling, and because I'm not what somebody would call a fine artist or an artist, but I'm a doodler. So I'm doodling, and I'm looking at it and turning it. It's like, no, not done. Doodle some more, change colors, da-da-da-da. Finally finish it. I said, now it's finished. Okay, this is good. So I bring it into the kitchen. My soul sister, Melanie, who I live with, was in the kitchen. And I show her the drawing, and she's turning it this way and that, and smiling, and I said, it needs a name. So I wrote Smile.
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 9,000 cards later.
5 years and over 9,000 cards. And the reason I know this is because of how many cards I've had printed. And also, right now what I have left is probably I might have 600 cards left. And when those are gone, it will be 10,000 cards that I've shared. And I write on the back of them somewhere. And most of them are, when I first started writing, it was it was what it was. But the evolution of my personal consciousness has brought me to where what I put on the back of the cards have deep, profound messages, and what the incredible joy of sharing with someone a card, and they read it and they'll say, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And it just is mind-boggling. And there's been a few people who've rejected me, and at first I took it very personally, and then I realized I have not a clue what's going on in that person's life. I'm not walking in that person's shoes, in that person's body, to know what's going on. And so it has given me a greater understanding of who I am in looking to see who you are. This has been the most incredible journey ever. I love this journey.
I'm going to silence Eric a little because he's probably being picked up on the microphone. Pardon me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
So the smile journey, the hug journey has been
Yeah.
like your calling.
Yeah, it's my calling. And it's, our motto is healing our world one smile at a time. It really, when I say that to people, that our motto is healing our world one smile at a time, everybody shakes their head and says, of course, of course. So it's all we need to do is be present with ourselves, so when we're out in the world, we can be present with whomever it is that comes into our space, whether it's somebody standing in front of you or behind you at the supermarket line. Create a conversation. There's no strangers out there. There's family and friends we might not have met yet, but there's truly no strangers. None. We are on this one globe called Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever suits you to call where we are. And how can we be separate? We're sharing one space. Even though you might be 10,000 miles away from me, we're still sharing one space. So in that space of expansion of thought build the pyramids, by the way, collective thought, it's so amazing, that we are opening doors that had never been opened. We are opening doors that we didn't even know that there were doors there. It always looked like a wall. And then when you approached it, you see that it's a space to walk through and to embrace and to hold on to and to share love with. It's pure magic. Pure magic.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
And your little group that I had the privilege of experiencing today shows that poetically, perfectly.
Yeah.
Really delightful people. I enjoyed all of them. And, that's all it's about is smiles, hugs, teddy bears, and, collective consciousness, right? It's all about the love,
Yeah. I bring all the bears to the library, and everybody has a bear. Some people bring their bears back and some don't, and that's okay. There's always enough bears to hug. And this is my personal guy. He's very unique because he can hold his arms like that. Other bears don't have the ability to cross their arms.
Even when I pulled up in the parking lot and I was just getting ready to get out of my car, I saw, I forget her name.
Lisa? The little one?
No,
the tall one?
Tall one with
Linda.
the glass. Linda, yeah, Linda. And I saw her with the bear in her arms. I said, I'm in the right place. I'm all right. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
it's all good. Now, I'm going to shift gears a little bit, if you don't mind.
Don't mind at all.
Now, We've gone through a lot. Seriously, we've gone through a lot, and we've grown a lot, together and individually. And I'm grateful that we didn't abandon over time. That could have happened.
It does.
Yeah, it happens
Yeah.
with a lot of people, and for this I'm grateful. Even though we had a couple of temporary separations, but that was just part of the process.
I call it timeout.
Yeah, time
Okay.
out on the
Yeah.
field. Yeah,
That's-
it was
yeah.
just like that.
Yeah, just timeout.
Now, about I guess maybe it's coming on a year now that I had a conversation with you, and I told you what was happening with me. That I had discovered urine therapy. It totally changed my life. I started feeling healthy and just had miraculous changes. And let's tell them how you responded to that message I sent you.
Well, after, I don't know how many, whatever, it was quite a while that Casey and I hadn't spoken with each other. And so when the phone rang and it was Casey, I mean, I really felt like my body lit up. It's like, oh my God, my brother's back. And having Casey tell me his story and about urine therapy and recognizing something within myself, because I'm an explorer. I take the road less traveled. Always have. From the time I was little, I was the youngest of three, and that's how my life went. And so the very next morning, so that was on September 12th, 2018.
My mother's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Pat. I'm sitting on the toilet with this cup, this glass of golden liquid in my hand. And I'm looking at it, and it's a pretty color. It's very pale, and I'm smelling it. And it's like, doesn't smell. Looks like Eat Clean, and so it's like, I'm asking myself, are you really gonna drink that? Are you really gonna drink that? And I said, it's now or never, kid. So I did. I drank it, and I felt this warmth that filled my body. And I said, wow. Recognizing that, even in the Bible, being that I grew up Jewish, I don't know much about the Bible, but I've heard here and there stuff. And, when they talk about drinking, when supposedly Jesus talks about drinking of your water, what do you think he's talking about? Your water is your water. It comes out of your body. And if you're in the trenches in the war, what are you going to drink if there's no water? You're going to drink your urine. And those are the people who survived.
Yeah, it's actually, if you look in military protocol handbooks, urine is all listed in there as survival. It's all about survival mechanisms. So it is a last resort, even as an anesthetic, or if you cut, burn, bit, and this, that, and the other, it's in there.
Yeah. I was not too long ago. I go out there and use my computer out there because I don't get a connection in this room, and usually I just stand because it's up high. But I was sitting on this high chair, and I went to get up, and my foot caught on the wire, and I started feeling myself falling backwards. I totally surrendered to whatever it was that was occurring, and I ended up sitting in this big old chair that was across the Arizona room. And as I plopped down on this chair, my arm hit, this part of my arm hit the arm of the chair, which is not forgiving, and immediately started getting a bump and a red mark. And it took me a few minutes. I put my hands over my eyes in total gratitude for the chair being there. Total gratitude. So I probably sat for about a minute. I got up, I went to the bathroom, peed in a cup, poured it over my arm, rubbed it into my arm, and within moments, the bump was gone and the red mark was gone.
Funny how it works, right?
Moments.
Uh-huh.
I go to a Course in Miracles study group, and one of the ladies said to me, "What are you doing? You look 15 years younger than you did a few months ago." And I said, "Well, if you really want to know, here's my phone number. Call me." Because it's all about drinking my water, washing my face with my water. I put it on my washcloth. I wash my body with it. At night, because I walk barefoot, and I have an obsession about not getting into bed with my dirty feet. So I put my urine in a tub, and I soak my feet, and I wash my feet, and love my feet, because if I didn't have my feet, I wouldn't be walking around. They are the most important things. And then I put jojoba oil on. So I have this whole ritual at night, and it's everything is geared around taking care of me. And right now, drinking my urine is totally taking care of me. I mean, let's see, this is August, September, October, November. 3 months, in 3 months, I will complete my 77th revolution around the sun. And I look in the mirror and I say, "You go, girl, you go. This is awesome." I do my qigong every day. I eat clean. I have no prescription drugs, no pharmaceutical drugs, nada. CBD, you betcha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pee and pot work. As a matter of fact, I had somebody just this very morning on one of my videos on my YouTube channel. And he's in India. He's 29 years old. And the question was, is it okay to smoke cannabis while doing urine therapy? And my answer was, I do. That was all I said.
Yeah.
I do.
Uh-huh.
And he came back and, he relished further. And, I mean, the thing is that these are the most natural things that you can, utilize, pot and pee, or it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, well.
Pretty natural healing elements.
Exactly.
And, I don't argue about it. I don't debate it. And I don't have to stand up for anything. I'm to the point now where you either get it or you don't get it. I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it,
Yeah, you know what it's doing with your body. I know what it's doing with my body. It's like, it's truly a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm a lifer. I mean, really honestly, for me, I wish I had learned about urine therapy when I learned about pot. I would have been a way different character. I probably would have had all my teeth in pristine order. I mean, there are a lot of different things that would have been different.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
Is
what it is.
You're up for a new episode of your life. Do you want to talk about that? That's coming up next week. Do you feel comfortable talking about that? I don't want to open up anything that's not comfortable.
Yeah, for me, a secret is something somebody's ashamed of.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's holding a secret, they're ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not ashamed, it's not a secret and you can talk about it. So 35 years ago, my ego was very big. And after 4 children, my breasts went from, being pregnant and then deflated and then hanging and then, another child. And so after the 4th child and knowing I wasn't going to have any more children, so it's about 35 years ago that I decided that I was gonna do something for my ego, and I was gonna have breast implants. So again, hindsight being 20/20. If I knew now what I knew, if I knew then what I know now, would I have ever done it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. having a foreign substance in my body, no. So Tuesday, they are coming out. I've had issues with them. They have created disharmony in my body. So Tuesday on the 13th of August, they are going to be removed. I am jazzed. I am excited. I am nervous. I am every emotion you could possibly think of. And I know that my healing process is going to be minimal. That Casey reminded me about taking my aged urine, because we save our urine, and to make sure that I massage where the incisions will have been. And truly, my healing will be exponential, easy peasy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thanks.
And as I jokingly said to Madaline when I learned about all this, I said, hey, I fondled those. Madaline and I have been through a lot in our lives. Trust me on this. She is my true sister.
Yeah.
I mean, we were lovers for a minute, but we were really more brother and sister, and that's how we really built our friendship.
Yeah. Well,
You
we
know.
tried on all the different, all the different costumes in our relationship. And,
Yeah.
the one that stuck the most is our love for one another, our friendship for one another, and respect for one another. It's a beautiful thing, Case.
Yeah. And, I just got back. Let's see, today's Friday. I left last Saturday. I arrived on Sunday, and I mean, it's been a miracle so far. I mean, I knew I was destined to end up back here in the Verde Valley. And I'm grateful, to be back and have, close proximity to my friends Madaline and Gary, and Kirsten lives here now. Some people might have seen Kirsten's videos with me, and she's a dear heart. And I got friends down in Surprise. So, and I have old friends that I haven't connected with in a long time. So I hope to, I intend to be here. It's my intent. And
Bring the
so,
tribe together.
yeah,
Bringing
pull the tribe back together.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming for me. So, I'm grateful that Madaline and I are back in each other's, we wandered back in, last year. I visited here a couple of times. And, for this I'm grateful. So, anyway, tell me anything else that you might have in your heart or mind before we wrap this up. We're going on about a half an hour now, which is healthy.
That's good. Well, I am in a position where, by the grace of beautiful people who support me, to have this surgery done. Funds-wise, I'm open for gifts of any kind. I mean, if you find it in your heart to send me $1, that would be so awesome. And Madaline Weber,
Yeah.
PayPal.
And, another thing, and I'm looking at it myself, and I'm just kind of keeping that undercover for a minute, but, we might, after your surgery, and I'm willing to help you set up a GoFundMe. And GoFundMe accounts work real good. Okay. And it's a really good broadcaster.
Yeah, awesome.
With intent.
Yeah.
So, it's all love. Support the healing.
Yeah.
This sister's worthy of your attention, trust me on that. She's been around for a minute, and she ain't going away soon. Yeah. So, thank you. I appreciate your time,
Ciao for now.
Yeah, I love you dearly.
I love you, Case.
All right. Peace out, everyone.
Peace out.